Peter.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Joe Swanson, man.
Hey everyone, well, welcome to the Three Shelves podcast. This is the 16th episode.
Wow.
Bear themed.
Oh my.
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Ted. That's why
Ted.
that's why I brought up Family Guy. Both of them, by the way. And The Revenant.
The Revenant.
Which, if you haven't seen it or you haven't heard about what it's about, then you might not understand why we're talking about it.
Yeah, you gotta, if you haven't seen the movie, well, actually no, because like the whole point of the movie and revolves around.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That if you haven't heard about it, then you probably.
Yeah. Do you think there's people that haven't heard about The Revenant?
It's been enough time.
It's been enough time.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, because it was Leo's first. It was his first Oscar.
Yeah, but
So like, I feel like naturally people would just hear about it.
Mhm.
But then again, when it came out, it made a lot of waves. We'll get to
that.
Revenant.
The first thing I want to talk about, and it ties into what you've been seeing recently. You want to say what you've been what you've been attempting to get into again?
Yeah. So what I've been attempting to get into again is the MCU. More specifically, Phase 4, because I have not seen I did not see a single thing from Phase 4 except for the Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. And Far From Home.
Right.
Even though you said before in the car that Far From Home isn't actually part of Phase 4, it's like an in-between between Phase 3 and Phase 4.
Yeah, and it came out like I think it was like 3 or 4 months after Endgame. You know, it was relatively recently, so it was still in that like zeitgeist.
Well, I mean, like the whole plot of the movie happens like
Mhm.
because of the events of Endgame.
Yeah, of course.
That's
I feel like
that's
okay,
everything.
you'll see, but a lot of the plots in Phase 4 have to do with the things in Endgame. So,
Well, I mean, yes, but
so you want to say what you've seen recently?
yeah. So literally today, before Ethan came to record this podcast, I finished up WandaVision. And I binged WandaVision in less than 2 days. It's, to be fair, it's a pretty short series. It's 9 episodes, but
Yeah.
it's only like 30,
It's like a
40
sitcom,
minutes.
you know.
Well, literally, yeah,
Yeah.
for the first couple episodes. I have a hot take on WandaVision. I've had a lot of
Okay.
people tell me that
It's like
this
the best
is
thing. Yeah.
that it's one of the best, not only like one of the best things in Phase 4, but one of the best things that Marvel's ever done. So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna tell you, I really wasn't that big a fan for the first half of the show, and I know, and apparently I have a weird decision. I mean, keep in mind,
Right.
this is like my raw thoughts. I'm
Yeah.
gonna rewatch it,
Mhm.
and don't get me wrong, but before I say
Yeah.
why I like the second half more than the first half, I like the first half. Don't think that I didn't,
Mhm.
but as someone like I already know that Wanda makes it past this. Like I know I haven't seen in the Multiverse of Madness,
Yeah.
but I know that Multiverse of Madness
Has
happens
Wanda.
directly after this.
Yeah.
So I know that Wanda becomes a Scarlet Witch. I knew how it was gonna end.
Mhm. Your expectations were in check,
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of. 'Cause
So
I'm telling you, when the show, it feels like a movie, low key.
it
But
does.
when this show,
Loki.
wow.
I'm gonna be watching that. I'm gonna be watching that tomorrow.
Wait, let me tell you about Loki.
No spoilers, no
I won't
spoilers.
tell you anything, but
Or actually, I might watch. Falcon
yeah,
and
I
Winter
was gonna
Soldier
get to
first.
the watch order, but before that, when the show first came out,
Mind blown. Right?
people's like expectations were crazy. They were expecting like Professor X, Magneto to show up, Mephisto, all these crazy theories, and
Why?
and when it ended up being, spoiler alert, but the show's been out for 2 years. So when it's revealed to be Agatha, some, to be honest, D-list, supervillain instead of, Magneto, which was so ridiculous to expect. I understand why people like the hatred towards the end of it kind of like was really like strong, but I feel like it's died off and it's looked upon fondly, honestly, because it is, honestly, I'll be honest, it is one of the best Phase 4 things.
And see, this is why. That's exactly why I'm very nervous about getting into Phase 4.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, what?
Honestly, like, I haven't seen everything. I haven't seen everything, every TV show, and I'll tell you right now, watch every movie, watch only specific TV shows.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna be fucking watching She-Hulk Attorney at
She-Hulk. I
Law.
actually saw She-Hulk the whole thing, and it wasn't. I honestly thought it wasn't that bad.
Even before all that,
Yeah.
just like specifically raw thoughts about WandaVision.
Uh huh.
I'm not gonna say it was overhyped because I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, like, what is it? Emily Osborne? Is that whoever the what's her name?
Oh,
Elizabeth Osborne.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Olsen. I
Yeah.
was close.
Which is funny because she's like, related to the Olsen twins, and it's like the whole sitcom thing.
Dude, she was amazing in the
Yes.
entire series.
Yes.
And same with Vision. Same with the guy who
Mm-hmm.
plays Vision, who's also in other stuff
Shit.
too.
I'm blanking on the name.
It's not that I didn't like the first half. They did something very different for Marvel, and I know for a lot of people like they really loved that. It didn't hit that hard for me. I didn't really think it was like too crazy. In fact, to be honest, I was kind of bored for like the first two episodes. The third one, when it switches to the 70s, first off, I love that the like going in between it like all through the decades. That was
Yeah.
so fucking sick.
Yeah.
But for the 50s and 60s one, especially like the first two are just like they feel so like
They're
small.
very straight.
Yeah.
They play like an actual sitcom.
Yeah,
And
it's like you have like the little brief moments of where
yeah.
like it breaks,
But
it starts to break.
I think it's cool because this was Marvel's first TV show, and it's
Yeah.
kind of meta that they're using the TV show format like literally in the first show.
Dude, you should have seen my reaction. I was laying on bed right behind me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little stoned watching
Uh-huh.
it last night.
Yeah.
I was just binging it, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna smoke a little bit. And Malcolm in the
Malcolm in the
Middle,
Middle.
I
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, they have Heisenberg within a TV show
Here's the thing, though.
within
Yeah.
WandaVision. I flipped my shit.
Here's
I
the
was like, that is so
here's
fucking cool.
here's
I
the
love
thing.
Malcolm in the
Yeah.
Middle.
Here's the thing, though. That's the point. Like, there are
Yeah.
And like I'm sure there's probably there's a very minority, but I'm sure there's probably like an 80-year-old MCU fan that's like, hey, they ripped off, or maybe like people
They
that
ripped
like
up the
I
Dick
love,
Van Dyke Show.
yeah, but or maybe fans that just like that type of shit. Maybe they
Or
have more
Bewitched.
appreciation of it.
I did catch some shit from like Bewitched where like it would like the camera would stop and like it would do like a little like brief pause. You can
Yeah,
tell it's edited.
and to be honest,
That's Bewitched. And my parents used to watch Bewitched on
yeah,
like reruns.
I don't. Yeah, to be honest, I was never like a sitcom kid. I never really watched too many sitcoms. So
Me
like
neither,
I
but Malcolm
only
Middle's fire.
I recognized the Malcolm in the Middle and like obviously the Office thing because we were
The
into
Office from
that.
the 2000s.
What did you like about the ending?
So some people that I'm close with that they talk about the show a lot, and they really liked the show. Like they love WandaVision. They think it's the best thing that Marvel's ever done. And it was hyped up to me over the summer. And I'm not gonna lie, I did watch this partly because this person watched it, and so they were talking it up so much, and I was like, all right, I gotta eventually see it. And I figured now would be a good time to catch up with Marvel because I've had a huge falling out after Endgame. Besides the Spider-Man movies, I just couldn't give a shit. And
Yeah,
they're introducing
to
like
be honest, I think most people only watch those Marvel movies because of Captain America and Iron Man.
yeah, I was one
You
of those
know?
people.
Yeah.
And Thor, I liked Thor.
Yeah, but Thor was kind of like a sidekick, to be honest. Now, in hindsight, like let's be honest here,
Yeah.
Thor was kind of like a comic relief
Well,
and not like a main lead of the
okay.
whole series. You know?
I enjoy the first Thor movie.
Yeah.
I haven't rewatched The Dark World because it's The Dark World.
Yeah.
Although at Loki after
Okay.
Endgame,
Yeah.
after Endgame, I might actually rewatch Dark World again.
No, don't.
Because
Don't.
no.
It's not-
I'm gonna rewatch all of them again.
Oh, it's cool because it does tie in.
It's the first.
Endgame.
It's
Endgame
the
does
first time where they actually
the Infinity,
yeah
the Ether.
they
thing,
actually
yeah.
mention like the power of the stones,
Yeah.
even though the Tesseract
Movie's
is,
incredibly boring, though. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It really
isn't
is.
isn't
It doesn't
the
hold up.
who's the main it's like the
Um,
dark elf.
I don't remember.
I don't remember his name.
Paul Bettany is the guy who plays Vision,
Paul
by the way.
Bettany.
Yeah. He was
WandaVision.
there from the beginning too. He played the Jarvis in Iron Man, so
Ah.
he's like one of the OGs.
He played Jarvis and
He's the voice to Jarvis.
oh, the voice.
Yeah, so that's why they used
Oh.
him in Vision. You know.
But WandaVision, I'll give it this, dude. It is such a unique, not even for the MCU. It's just a unique show
Show,
in
yeah.
general. And
Did you like the flashbacks with her? Is that why you like the ending?
showing, yeah, but yeah, when it opened up and it started showing more backstory, and it started to like unravel like how they got there. That was really really cool to me. And I like the side characters, like the one what is it? What the hell was her name?
Oh, Monica Rambo
Yeah,
or something
Monica
like that.
Monica
Yeah,
Rambeau,
she's gonna be in the
where she's
Marvels.
yeah,
Yeah,
where she's introduced in Captain Marvel.
Captain
Is that the
Marvel.
one?
Yeah.
And was that when she was younger, like as the girl?
Yeah. She's the. I think
Dude,
she's the little girl in the
yes,
'90s. Yeah.
yes, dude. 70s? No, yeah, it was
No,
in
the movie took place in the '90s.
Captain Marvel took place in the 90s.
Yeah, because the Blockbuster. Remember, she crashes down in the
That's right. That's
Blockbuster.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched Captain Marvel with
Yeah, but it's a
Jimmy.
very forgettable movie.
It,
Yeah, very
dude,
forgettable.
all I remember, the
I
only
can't
thing I
believe they
remember from
didn't
that
take
movie,
advantage of the '90s setting. They really didn't. Like they did one gag and that's it.
the only thing I remember from that, the two things I remember from the movie is that there's like a double cross.
Yeah,
There's like
and
a
Sam
bait and
Jackson's in
switch.
it, de-aged.
There's a bait and switch. Samuel L. Jackson DH, but then also the cat scratching Samuel L. Jackson, so that way he wears
Yeah,
that
and
badge.
it's
That's
funny
the
because
only
in
thing I
the
remember from Captain
MCU he
Marvel.
says like something like, "You don't want to meet the person who gave me the scar" or
Yeah,
something like
and that's
that.
the
It's the
fucking cat.
fucking cat. Um,
But the
yeah,
flashbacks with Sokovia is
yeah.
those were cool. It gave
Hmm.
backstory where I think it was needed. Here's a fun fact.
Uh huh.
I've never actually seen the entirety of Age of Ultron. I've only ever seen like the battle in the
Age
second
of
half.
Ultron. People talk shit about it.
You
I
think
think it's.
don't you think it's good, right?
I think it's like it's not. It's
It's the
like
worst Avengers movie by far.
it's good when you're watching all of them together. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like a midpoint like season.
You
You
know
know,
what's
it's like a
kinda
midpoint
you know
season
what's
thing.
sad though?
And I like to honestly, you have to look at these movies now like episodes of TV. You can't
Yeah.
look at them as individual things. They're just too connected. They're just too connected.
The
You know?
issue that I have
And
with
that's
Age of
the
Ultron,
kind of the problem they're having now with the movies.
the issue that I have with Age of Ultron is that it is completely overshadowed, outclassed by Captain America: Civil War. Captain America's
I don't.
yeah,
I just you can't compare them because you have the Avengers in.
but
Oh, that's
but
true.
Civil
Yeah,
War
that's
has
true. That's
all
true.
the
Yeah, yeah,
characters
yeah, yeah.
and more because it introduces
Yeah,
Black
I'm
Panther.
sorry.
And
I was
Spider-Man.
thinking of Winter Soldier. I was thinking of Winter Soldier.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, Winter Soldier
yeah,
is a better movie in my opinion than Age of
yeah.
Ultron.
Did you like the villain of WandaVision though?
Agatha,
Yeah,
the Coven of Darkness, or whatever they're
yeah,
calling the series. Here's the thing, man. I kind of saw it from like a mile away,
yeah.
and
Right? Yeah.
but then again, I don't think it's as lame as some people make it out to be.
No, I
I
don't think it's as
really,
lame.
I don't. There was like a
I wish they went harder on the
you
pagan
know what
shit,
they're
like
yeah
the witchcraft
yeah
shit.
it was
It was
cool,
kind of a little bit kooky
dude. I
how
saw
they did the witchcraft
you know what
shit.
it
I
reminded
wish, yeah,
when she goes down in the basement of her house. Oh my god, basement of her house, which was really cool by the way. Like it was like
yeah.
kind of creepy. There was like a goat's head in the background of a couple of the shots where
Oh
like
yeah.
Agatha's standing there. You know what that
Oh, the
reminded me
witch.
of?
Yeah, the witch.
It reminded me of The Witch, but also
Yeah.
reminded me of the cover of that shitty Earl Sweatshirt EP with East
Oh,
on it.
Feet of Clay.
Feet of Clay. Feet of
Yeah,
Clay. It's
yeah,
not that shitty, but like El Toro combo meal. Come on. You know what? You know what's the thing with WandaVision?
yeah,
It was charming, and you know
yeah.
what? I gotta give it's like to me,
It's not a bad show.
it's like Captain America: First Avenger. The very first Captain America film isn't really that good of a film, but there's a certain charm to it, especially like
It honestly, it's
before he turns into
yeah,
the captain when he's just like Steve Rogers. There's like charm there. It's like
yeah.
MCU charm. That's exactly what I felt like all throughout WandaVision. And also, I
They
need to say
managed to
this.
lower the stakes with raising them in a way with the
Yeah,
intrigue. You know?
yeah, but also too like I like I like Wanda. I like Vision, and I
Yeah.
also have a crush on Kat Dennings. So that also
Oh
helps.
yeah, yeah. And is that
Dude,
why you want to rewatch Thor: The Dark World?
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just cool, and the concept was cool, and I like the visuals toward like the end of the show. Dude, the Halloween episode, like where they go trick or treating.
Yeah, that's the Malcolm in the Middle one.
That
It's
yeah,
so good.
oh my god, that episode.
And he's in the OG outfit too. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
White Vision is a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
creepy.
yeah.
You know what Jimmy told me? Jimmy told me that apparently White Vision, he's never been seen since
Yeah, in the show, in the any of the
in any of
MCU.
the.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
but
Okay,
Jimmy
okay.
said he's gonna come back in Secret Wars.
He might, but let's get to that. Here's some shows you should avoid. I'll just say, not avoid, but like you don't need to see right now.
Are you
I
gonna
don't
say
think.
Hawkeye?
Yeah, I was gonna say Hawkeye. I liked Hawkeye.
Apparently, Hawkeye's pretty good.
I liked Hawkeye. it's not necessary for this whole multiverse
I
thing
like
right now.
Jeremy Renner,
Yeah.
and so I'm gonna pretend that it's just
Haley Seinfeld was pretty good in it too,
and
I think.
Haley
And she's,
Steinfeld's in it
I'll
too.
be honest, she is the lead. She's not, is not
Isn't
Hawkeye.
she
I
also?
don't know why
Isn't
they
she
called it Hawkeye.
also a? Isn't she gonna be in the Marvels?
Thunderbolt. I don't know. She's gonna be part of the Young Avengers.
Thunderbolts.
Oh, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, you know what?
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Just choose what you want to watch. To be honest,
I'm
with
watching
you.
all of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm
Choose
watching
what you
all of
want to watch. Honestly,
it. I'm watching it in release order too, so
Yeah.
that means that I finished WandaVision today. I want to start Loki really bad, but I'm gonna sit through the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I like.
Have you haven't heard bad you heard bad things then,
I have.
right? I think it's pretty mediocre, honestly.
Out
but
of all
like,
the series, I have heard the most mid, not bad things. I've heard the most mid things about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
yeah.
I've heard the worst things about She-Hulk, understandably so.
Dude, honestly, people it's
I
just
don't
the
know.
dog
I
piling
can't
up.
get- I
No,
can't
I'm
get over
telling
the
you, I'm
twerking
telling you, it's
scene.
the internet dog piling shit. That internet twerking shit is a post credit scene. Honestly, there's a thing in She-Hulk at the final episode. I think is a worse defender of like just like what.
Okay.
But like anything else, I didn't think the show was that bad, honestly.
I have a sneaky suspicion
Yeah,
that after I watch the other series in
Yeah.
Phase 4, I have a feeling that I'm probably going to look back and I'm going to be like, you know what? I actually really enjoyed WandaVision for what it was.
that's what
Because
you're
that's what
gonna
a
do.
lot
'Cause
of people have said
I'm not
to me.
gonna lie. It's not that these product like these like shows and
Shows.
movies they're bad. They're
Just
just
mediocre.
all so mediocre. Like Shang-Chi. It was
Oh,
it was
apparently-
good. It was good for the
dude.
first act, and then I just got bored. I got bored. I'm like, oh, this
Apparently,
is the same
Shang-Chi
shit.
was a sleeper hit. Apparently,
I know
it's
it
really
was.
good.
It was. It was. But I to me, it was just another mediocre Marvel movie.
I'm kind of excited to see it. You know what I'm not excited to see?
What?
I'm not excited to see the Eternals. Apparently, the Eternals sucks.
Internals is interesting though, and the cast. You should
Rob
like
Stark.
Rob Stark,
Rob Stark.
Barry Keaton,
Yeah.
fucking Jon Snow is in it too. Both of them.
Kit Harington's in it?
Yeah, there's a. I don't want to spoil it.
Don't
Actually.
spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Salma Hayek. Yeah, the cast is pretty good, and
I just heard
honestly,
mediocre things about it.
it's
Dude,
interesting.
Phase 4.
It's a
I've just heard
really
is
interesting
mediocre.
movie, and honestly, in hindsight, I point to that and I'm like, at least that was something interesting instead of like something like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is just like another Marvel show. to
Apparently,
me.
it's like okay. I think also too like just on the visuals alone for WandaVision, it's just it's kind of like in a league of its own. Except the only exception that I've heard
yeah.
is Loki. Apparently,
Right.
Loki is like that's good shit.
You want to know the worst and Phase 5 thing? I truly think
Phase 4.
Phase 4 thing. Black Widow. I think
Yeah,
that was so unnecessary.
Black Widow. Apparently,
and like
people.
the special effects are awful.
Well, that girl, Brie.
villain is
What's
shit.
her name? What's her name?
Florence Pugh
Florence
is.
Pugh.
I like Florence Pugh character, and
She's
I like
coming back,
David
though,
Harbour.
right?
Yeah, but she's coming back, and she makes another appearance in Phase 4. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Okay, I won't say what
Don't
show,
say what.
but like she does make another appearance in something, and I like her character, but like it's so unfortunate that she like her introduction is in that shitty movie, dude. It's so
Well, just think.
Yeah.
Introduction to Black Widow is in Iron Man 2.
that's no, dude. This is worse than Iron Man 2 in my opinion. Black Widow.
I've never. Also, too.
Yeah.
I've never seen Iron Man 2.
You haven't even mentioned Quicksilver, the act like
The fake
Evan Peters
Bone-
from the X-Men.
boner.
Ralph Boner, but he's from the X-Men movies. What, you
Yeah.
didn't get that?
No,
You got-
he's
Yeah.
in Future Past, right?
Yeah, that was another thing
Yeah.
that people were kind of mad about, and I was kind of like, yeah, why'd you do that? Like, they could, I don't know, but like,
It's like you made him into like a shtick.
yeah, you made him to a shtick. I didn't
Yeah.
really like that.
That is
but,
that
like,
is
I
that scene from Days of Future Past where like, he runs around the room? And,
yeah,
like,
yeah, he's in
so
Apocalypse as
good.
well, and Dark Phoenix. Think that's
I
what it's
haven't.
called?
Keep in mind,
Yeah,
besides the first 3 X-Men,
yeah.
I have not seen the rest of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've
Eh,
only seen clips from all
it's
of
a
them.
very mixed bag. I'll tell you that. However, I'll end off this MCU discussion with this. You should save off Loki to the very end because
You
it
think?
leads into directly into what happens in Phase 5,
Quantumania,
Quantumania.
because
Yeah.
it introduces Kang. However, for the sake of
And plus, Loki season 2 is coming out very soon.
very soon, yeah.
So
For the sake of watching it in theatrical release, I am going to watch Loki third.
I'll be honestly with you. Don't think that theatrical release is the way they intended because of COVID.
It's not.
Their release schedule
Yeah.
got all fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh, dude, Wakanda Forever was supposed to come out like a lot sooner than when it did. Now, obviously, it's still different because Chadwick Boseman, but every single movie from Phase 4, though, I have just heard some very mediocre thing. And the one that
no one is
fucking kills me.
no one definitively is like on board with one film.
Well,
Which is
besides,
a problem.
besides
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
And even No Way Home has their like critics because
Yeah.
it's nostalgia point.
The
and
three
everything.
best things that I've heard from this, actually the four, dude. Shang-Chi. Apparently, people like Shang-Chi was slept on, but apparently there are some big fans of it because the action scenes.
Yeah.
The big three though are obviously No Way Home, WandaVision, and Loki. People have talked up WandaVision
Yeah.
and Loki a lot to me. Now I've seen No Way Home, so I know that.
I think the best of them out of the ones is definitely WandaVision for me. Out of those,
even
three.
over Loki. I mean,
A little
I think
bit
it
though.
drags.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's
It
only
does.
6 episodes, so the fact
I
that
know
it
that's
drags
the problem.
is not good.
A lot of these shows drag, and they're only.
I could
6
see how
episodes.
that
is
how
the problem.
Falcon and
My
Winter Soldier
biggest
drags.
issue with these Disney Plus shows, and this with this discussion because it's going on a lot longer than I thought.
The intro.
But the biggest problem I have with these shows is they're basically movies stretched out into
That's facts.
6 hours.
That's facts.
You know?
WandaVision literally feels like they made a movie, but then like cut it at certain points.
No, that's the only one that I think they didn't do it because of the episodes and the way it was structured.
Well, keep in mind,
cool.
I haven't seen the other ones yet. So.
Yeah, trust me, dude. Trust me.
haven't
And
seen
especially watching them week to week, you start noticing. I got so frustrated.
None of the fucking movies either, dude. Like just every single one of them besides No Way Home just gets kind of like shit on. Like Black Widow gets shit on.
Yeah, and
Shang-Chi's
I
like
can't
the
believe
exception.
this discussion brought up. It was because I saw Quantumania in theaters recently.
What did you think of
And
WandaVision? Do you think it's worth it?
first
Think I should
off,
see it?
the narrative is crazy with this now. Like now people are just shitting on superhero movies and just Marvel in general, like
Yeah.
out of nowhere. Like why?
Martin Scorsese
Yeah,
was
Martin
right, man.
Scorsese. Like why were you shitting on the old man? Like literally like 2 years ago, and now like everyone's on board with this. It's really weird how Marvel's the underdog now, or kind of the underdog. I don't want to say like they're the complete underdog, but like people are now like it's popular to shit on Marvel. It's like not a hot take to shit on Marvel anymore.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Chadwick Boseman's death really fucked them up.
Yeah, I do. I
because
think he was going to be the leader of the
They
Avengers.
even said,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure the main guy. What's his name? What's the head guy? The guy who
Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige. I'm pretty sure. Didn't he say that like I almost said Black Widow.
Yeah,
Black Panther was supposed to be like the head
he
guy.
was for sure going to be the head guy. Yeah.
Doctor Strange, and
believe.
Thor were supposed to be like those three.
Wakanda is such a pivotal part to the Marvel universe
Yeah.
that like it was gonna be he was gonna be one of the
But
leaders.
she's getting her own. His younger sister's getting her own show, right?
Just watch Wakanda Forever and just see what happens there.
Okay.
But Ant-Man and the Wasp, people hate it. This is one of the only Marvel movies that have rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, which
Really?
is shocking. Like all the other ones, even the Phase 4, the rest of the Phase 4 besides Eternals and this one are rotten. But I mean are fresh. And to be honest, man,
You think it was bad?
I don't get it. This is just another mediocre one. This is just another and honestly, this one is a little bit better for me because one of my other critiques with Phase 4 is it feels like nothing's building up to anything. And Ant-Man and the Wasp finally kind of build up to something, and it kind of feels like we're setting the stage for something, even though a lot of people don't think they're not invested in what they're setting up, honestly.
Yeah.
Kang, he is like a formidable force, and the guy who plays him, Jonathan Majors, is really good, but I can see why people are not on board with this because the way they introduce him is really weird. It's really weird in an Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
Really bizarre and
Do I need to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp before Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah.
I need to watch it.
Well, one of the main characters gets stuck in the quantum realm, and they take her out in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
So it's a lot. You know what? Just look up a video if you really don't care.
I'll watch
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I think that one's one of the worst ones in the MCU.
What do you think of the original? I saw Ant-Man in theaters.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
I liked Ant-Man. I think it's
Ant-Man
could have been better if it was
remember-
directed by Edgar Wright. But
Remember how I just said that
Yeah.
that some MC movies just have charm?
I love, yeah,
That's one
that
of
one
those
has
movies that
charm.
has like the Thomas
And
the Tank Engine busting in at the
yeah,
very end.
and
That shit was fire.
Ti was in it too. And that
Wow.
dude, the guy who plays Pokemon Man in the Suicide Squad movie, uh, that soldier in Dark Knight.
Oh
That guy,
yeah.
the Russian guy.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. He actually voices a guy in I forget his name, but he actually voices a guy in the third Ant-Man movie. Um, and what's his name? The Spanish dude. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean.
Um, I he was funny too, and he's not in the third one, so I'm pretty sure that's why people don't like it either. Like the whole feeling of the
Of
Ant-Man
Ant-Man's.
is gone in this movie. Even
Well,
though
this one took a big. This one took like a big. It's
yeah,
they're trying to push.
crazy.
They're trying to push.
Yeah, the cast is it's just basically just sleepwalking through this. Michelle Pfeiffer, especially Michael Douglas. Holy shit!
Paycheck.
Like you could just tell like he doesn't know what the fuck he's looking at
Okay.
in the green screen. And you know who makes an appearance?
Like episode 1 and episode 2 of Star Wars.
It's worse, honestly.
The episode 2, dude. Episode 2 is
Oh,
shit.
yeah, maybe not as
Episode
bad as
two-
maybe not. Okay,
Episode
episode
2
one.
is like the
Don't put
definition.
episode 1 in the same category as episode 2. Yeah, that's all I'll say about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's very middle of the road, and I think it's just the straw that broke the camel's back. I think this day was coming where everyone just starts dogpiling on MCU movies. It's just
you think-
unfortunate that it happened to
Do
Ant-Man.
you think that they can come back?
Yeah, they have the X-Men. They have Fantastic Four.
Blade?
Yeah, they have Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Phase 5, like just looking at it first.
And they also have Spider-Man as well.
I
Like,
think-
come on, man.
Yeah, Spider-Man's a cheat code. 'Cause everyone loves Spider-Man. I will say, dude, I feel like I'm a really massive disappointment, and I'm really upset that it flopped. I'm
Yeah.
really pissed off that Thor: Love and Thunder is not that good. The fact that
Oh.
Christian
It didn't
Bale
flop though.
It didn't. No,
it
I
didn't flop.
flop as in like
people didn't like it. Yeah.
it wasn't Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Ragnarok is one of the best in my opinion.
Yeah.
How could and like Taika Waititi was
I'll
back?
tell you, Christian Bale is no Kate Blanchett in Ragnarok. That is
Yeah.
like Hela is fucking amazing.
But that's the
villain.
issue. The God Butcher.
Yeah.
I wanted to see like. And
Well, you haven't
apparently-
seen it yet,
I
so
haven't seen it.
let's save your thoughts there. We
Okay,
have to
that's
we have
true.
to move on.
That's true.
We have to move on.
A bear did cocaine.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear recently came out in theaters, but by the time you're watching this, it probably is out of theaters.
Really
so,
that fast?
Yeah, that's what I hate about like the modern day business of movie
Wakanda
theaters now.
Forever went on streaming like really fast.
Yeah, I know. The only thing that really has been staying in theaters forever is Avatar. It's still in theaters
I haven't
after
seen.
7
I
weeks.
still haven't seen Avatar.
I mean, not 7 weeks. After 12 weeks, a whole 3 months, dude. It's still in theaters. It's crazy. It's because I made $1 billion, but still. Yeah, we saw Cocaine Bear. We saw it with Justin.
Hell yeah.
We talked about
Hopefully
this.
Justin's getting some action.
Yeah, we talked about this in
There
we talked about this in earlier episodes, but I figured, might as well tie it into like, the Three Shelves canon and talk about it in full discussion here.
Three Shelves universe.
So, Liam, general thoughts. What did you think about Cocaine Bear?
All right. So even though I haven't rewatched Cocaine Bear since we saw it, was it a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, last week? My opinion, my general opinion, hasn't changed. I still think that I want more bear and I want more cocaine,
Okay.
but I'm not as disappointed with it as I was immediately after. Immediately after,
Yeah.
I was kind of just like, like did I really just watch that?
What was your expectations? Did
To-
you see
to-
the trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer kind of like I hate
Yeah,
Megan and this kind of ruined the movies with not to ruin the movie. Yeah, the trailers ruined the movie for that.
Like, I was honestly expecting there more to just be like I was just expecting like more of like I don't know why. Maybe we just did the Friday the 13th podcast.
Yeah, more like a slasher.
I was expecting it to be more like kill, 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 kill.
Yeah.
Instead, it was like kill, kill, kill.
Yeah, you just needed more bear.
I wanted more kills. I wanted more bear. I wanted better humor, I think.
Okay.
There were some funny parts, but like there was also just some like slapstick that just didn't work for me. Like it was just
Yeah,
like, all
I
right.
kind of felt like it was very like I don't know. It was
I want to say it felt a little tame for what it was marketed as.
It was neutered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted
Could have went
to
harder.
see-
Could have went
I
harder.
wanted to see some like
It wasn't raunchier, right?
Yeah.
I felt like it should have been a raunchier comedy. you know?
I wanted like some like snakes on the plane.
Because it was super violent and it felt off-putting. Because the rest of the movie didn't fit that. It felt
Yeah.
like it was kind of okay.
It
It was
felt
kind of
like
like Adam Sandler-y like humor, right?
Yeah.
But like it was like a slasher, like crazy violent.
didn't-
It should have had like
it
get
was-
to
it was
on the next
throwing-
movie. It should have had like Ted humor
Yeah.
with the bear. You
It
know
was
what I mean?
throwing in like it was trying to like pull from so many different genres. I feel like, and it just
Yeah, it tried to be like an
it
80s
was-
throwback movie. It really
Yeah.
didn't fully go into that. And I know because this was a low budget movie. I think the budget on this was like 35 million or something like that. And most of it was the bear, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably.
And the bear looked pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
CG, and we'll get to the other bear in the other movie. This held up, and it was in a lot. It was a lot for CG. Like that's why I kind of did understand why I kind of lowered my expectations going in, knowing it was a lower budget movie, and knowing that the bear is probably not gonna be in it too much because I know how CG is now. CG is very hard. It's either this bear is gonna look like shit and gonna be in it the whole time, or this bear is just gonna look okay but not gonna be in it too much.
I wanted more bear and less characters, and we got more characters and less bear.
What do you think? Okay,
even
what do
the
you
bear's
think
in
of the
it a
choice
lot.
of having a guy in a bear suit instead?
If they made like a couple like meta jokes about it and like they played it off, I
Yeah.
think it actually could have worked,
Yeah.
especially for this type of movie. I was, you know what? I kind of expected it to be worse and better at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like,
Like,
if they just made it worse, like if they actually if they just accepted the fact that look, this movie is just gonna be a joke movie, and they kind of leaned into
Yeah,
that.
it
side
is also
more,
a big
I feel like
studio-
would have got more out of it.
It also is a big studio movie. Universal put
They-
this out. It's like I know, but like
It's like
it's
it's like they tried to do quality.
this movie has to make a lot of money as well too.
It tried to do more quality than I think the film was really supposed to have for quality.
Hmm.
I kind of wanted to
I
be
kind of
able.
like that it was trying though a little bit.
It was trying a little bit. The effects and like the graphic violence
Yeah.
was really, dude. That fucking ambulance scene stole the
Yeah, the
entire
ambulance
thing.
scene is good. We'll get into spoilers right now, but do you recommend it?
Do I recommend it?
Yeah.
Remember on this podcast we had like a
What's your-
separate side shelf.
Yeah,
where,
what's your
like,
shelf
it was
rating?
On
Is
it was
it-
on
is
the
it-
drink cabinet. Remember that?
Yeah, drug cabinet. You put it in the drug
I
cabinet.
think this is This is like almost like on the top of the drug cabinet.
yeah.
If I ripped my cart going into this movie and I got really really stoned,
Maybe you should
watching
do some cocaine during the movie.
honestly, yeah, you might want to do some cocaine before watching this movie, just to get you like a little like bump before. Yeah,
Put it in the drug cabinet. I put it in the drug
I
cabinet.
put it in the drug cabinet,
Yeah, we both put it in the drug cabinet, but this is a spoiler section, so get into the ambulance scene.
dude. It was so ridiculous, like the fact like the bear fucking caught up with a high speed ambulance,
Yeah,
but then
the music too was bumping.
it was
during the
it was
scene, yeah.
gloriously the payoff of seeing those stupid characters die, especially the fucking park ranger
yeah.
woman.
Her face gets
Oh
fucking.
my god, that was so satisfying.
Her face gets scraped
So good.
upon the blacktop.
The
of
worst, the worst
the
road
road.
burn you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
She got, and it was fucking.
her
It
ass,
wasn't,
dude. The scratch that she got on her thigh, dude, like on the side, like next to her ass, dude. Ugh, that looks gross, dude. I'm telling you, the effects were great.
Yeah, dude, they did a fucking really good. The disemboweling of Ray Liotta's character.
Yeah,
Very end, just
very
dope.
morbid way to be his
yeah.
last movie.
Yeah, where he actually does.
It says, what did it say at the end?
In loving
In loving memory of Ray Liotta. Let's talk about the cast for a little bit.
And Ray Liotta was like fine.
Yeah, he was
in
kind of
it.
sleepwalking.
He was
through
just
it, yeah.
like.
I heard he
just felt like
died.
a
I heard he
paycheck.
literally died a few days after filming this. So
Maybe that was why it was
yeah.
so mediocre.
And
It died
by
from
the
it.
way, it's not his last. It was his last filming movie, but there's some movies in post production that he's still in.
Okay.
The cast. I thought they did their thing, especially Alden Ehrenreich, who gets. I don't know. The Solo movie gets a lot of hate, but he did a great job as Han Solo, in my opinion, and I think he's great here. I think he was like my favorite character just because like by the end of it, I bought into his like his sadness of his dying wife. In the beginning, I was like, this is kind of like, what the hell is this? Like, why are we doing this? This is so stupid. But like by the end of it, when he has the little puppy dog, I felt something. I was like, it was kind of sincere. Even though how corny it was kind of the heart that when the bear was trying to protect the other cubs.
Yeah.
I kind of that heart that didn't work for me, but that because that was a little ridiculous. That was ridiculous. I did not like the finale of this movie, to be honest. The death was great, but the finale was
the whole finale,
and it looked like shit too. It was so dark. It was gross.
Yeah.
But like that little scene when he gets the dog, I kind of felt that he has like a new partner now, and now he has to get his kid, who hopefully he is still in that mall.
Yeah, really. Like, what the fuck?
Osei Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son. Did you know that?
Straight, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah. This is the only thing I've seen.
He was like,
he was alright.
He was fine.
Yeah. I feel like Ice Cube would play this character like 20 years ago.
This is like Are We There Yet? But like add cocaine into it.
Yo, the deer. That deer was definitely on cocaine in Are We There Yet? Shout out Are We There Yet?
Dude, we should do those movies.
I'm down for that.
Friday, Are We There Yet? Are We Done Yet? And
XXX State of the Nation.
Oh, what the fuck?
How about Ride Along? The Kevin Hart.
Ride Along.
Yeah. Other characters, that bleach hair kid.
Yep.
I thought he was pretty funny. I liked his accent.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of like Brockhampton a little bit, like Doba. He definitely would be a member of Brockhampton.
Yes, he would.
Yeah,
he'd be a member. He'd be doing like he'd be on like Saturation 1 doing like the weird high pitch vocals. Like that's what that guy would be doing.
He would do the Roadrunner interviews like on the gas stations. You know what I mean? Another thing that I liked about it is the detective.
Okay.
He was funny, and that whole gazebo scene. I can't do it, but like when he couldn't, when he was trying to find a way to like come down to the gazebo, he let out like this moan or grunt, and it was so fucking funny. I'll try to find it. I'll put it here. Other than that, yeah, Cocaine Bear was fun. I would, oh yeah, we already gave our rating, so we can move into our next thing.
It's just really quickly though. I feel like it's one of these movies where it's on the same level as like a Friday the 13th for me, where it's like you have like a bunch of kills.
Yeah.
But
a movie called Cocaine Bear, it should have had like some oomph to it.
Yeah, I wanted it to be like more like a statement. I wanted it to really push boundaries for movies. Not like quality wise. I mean like
I didn't want to have something like Kill the Kids or something. I actually like those kids. Like they were pretty good.
They were good.
One of them is in Florida Project. It's like more than a few years ago, but that was a great movie, and it's weird to see her in this because she was so young in the other one. Yeah, Cocaine Bear was was fun. Try to seek it out if you want to have a fun time.
Weed or cocaine or alcohol required.
However, I'm gonna give you some 10 cocaine movies if you don't want to see Cocaine Bear. I'll shoot them out really fast because we're already like running super long.
Donnie Brasco.
Number 1, we have After Hours. You ever heard this one?
No.
This is directed by Martin Scorsese.
By The Weeknd.
You know what? The Weeknd might have taken it from. You're wearing the Don FM, yeah.
Buddy.
But The Weeknd might have taken it from this movie because he was made in the 80s. Pretty sure Martin Scorsese very open about his use of coke while filming this. Very weird, surreal satire about a man who is very horny and just wants to get laid.
Taxi driver.
And he's at a coffee shop. This girl invites him to meet him at his apartment in Soho later at night, and mayhem ensues from there. It's really funny and really underrated Martin Scorsese. I don't even think it's underrated because more people are discovering it and more people are pointing at this as like a really unique Martin Scorsese film that is really funny. It's really funny. It stars, I forget the actor, but it stars the same guy from American Werewolf in London. The cast is pretty good. It has Catherine O'Hara, who I love. Has the girl from Pulp Fiction, the girl with the piercings. I forget her name at the moment, but great cocaine movie, I think. And another one, pretty obvious pick right now, Scarface.
Yeah.
Cocaine movie for sure. The final finale is just one big great explosion of just cocaine beautiness. But like, do I really need to explain why Scarface is the essential coke movie? No, I don't. My third movie, it's a kind of an underrated movie, but it's a recent movie, War Dogs. Ever heard of it?
Oh yeah,
Starring
that's
Jonah
Jonah
Hill
Hill, Jonah
and
Hill and
Miles
Miles
Teller.
Miles Teller. Yeah.
Jonah Hill does a lot of cocaine in this movie, and he screams a lot at a lot of people. He's kind of a dickhead. Have you seen it? You seem like you've seen
I
it.
haven't seen War Dogs, but like a ton of clips always pop up. So I know the one clip that always pops up in
The
War
gun,
Dogs.
the machine gun one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When he's out in the street, when
yeah,
he brings,
yeah.
when he
That's
walks out with the machine gun.
yeah, great scene. Directed by Todd Field, Hangover, Joker. You should see it. It's very influenced by Scorsese. That's why it's another like cocaine movie, and it's about. It's honestly, it's about your history buff. It's about war. It's about
It's about making money off of arms dealing.
Yeah, arms
for
dealing
war.
in the Iraq War in the early 2000s. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting. I liked it. I watched it on a plane.
Number 4 on the list, Spring Breakers, the OG A24 film.
I feel like
Gee.
Alien, played by James Franco,
Gee.
just does daily lines off of
Oh,
hookers'
God, yeah.
ass cheeks all the time.
Hey, speaking of
Starring
is it Mila
Vanessa
Kunis?
Hudgens.
Oh,
no,
Vanessa
no,
Hudgens.
Vanessa
I
Hudgens.
Hudgens,
Selena Gomez.
Selena
I'm sorry,
Gomez.
I was blanking on the name. It's not for everyone. It's very art housey. It's very like it's very psychedelic.
Climax.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's an art house film. But I think it's really fun and just crazy and just an insane movie. But it's very divisive. So 5, 6, and 7 is a Paul Thomas Anderson triple feature. Yeah. His 3 films: Magnolia, Boogie Nights, and Inherent Vice. Those are very big cocaine movies. And I think Magnolia especially, I think that movie is just anxiety driven, just crazy. Like everything's going around. There's a character that has a very serious cocaine addiction. It's very sad. But like just the whole movie is spastic. And I just think that like, yeah. And same thing with Boogie Nights. Same thing with Inherent Vice. Babylon.
I was gonna say Babylon. Yeah.
Babylon's a cocaine movie. Love the scene in the coke room scene when they're talking about their movies. And
Dude,
how they love movies.
I'm thinking right now about the sound. That movie's soundtrack. You're right, is something special.
Yeah, I hope it wins the Oscar.
Nelly
I hope
was
it
it
wins the Oscar.
Nelly? Was it what's his
Nelly's theme,
name? Nelly's theme.
Voodoo Mama. Yeah, super catchy, man. And there's a track called Champagne that is really good too. It sounds like I hope someone understands what I'm talking about, but it sounds like a Super Mario Galaxy level, a beach level. If you track is called Champagne, play some Mario Galaxy.
I'm trying to remember some beach levels from Mario Galaxy. All I remember from Mario Galaxy was it Mario Galaxy 1 or 2 where it was the Luigi's Mansion level.
There's a bunch of ghost levels. It's ghost levels in all Mario games. Yeah, great score. They use a lot of drugs in Babylon, not just coke, but the whole movie is just
Whatever
like,
the fuck
insane.
Peter Parker's on in the movie. Holy shit.
And you've noticed a rift. A lot of these movies are 3 hours long. They're very aggressive.
Yeah.
They're very just like, oh my god, what's going on? Yeah, great. And that's what I wanted from Cocaine Bear.
I didn't necessarily.
Necessarily we didn't get that.
What's your
Tanya?
last?
This is not
Tanya.
Tanya. You seen it?
No, but I know it's
very
okay.
inspired by Scorsese again. But like it just has that energy, and it reminds me of it's like it kind of reminds me like a female Goodfellas in a way. It's weird.
Do you think Margot
even though
Robbie's-
it's like a biopic?
Do you think Margot Robbie's better in I, Tanya or
Babylon? Ooh, I just prefer the performance in Babylon.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't
Except
know.
that fucking ending.
Have a huge
Her
crush.
character ending is so fucking
Yeah.
ass. I
Yeah,
hate
but that's
that.
not the performance. That's like
Yeah.
And my last movie, you're gonna agree with me
Wolf
on
Wall
this is
Street?
the King. Oh no.
Wolf of Wall
Yeah,
Street,
I
come
you
on.
know what? Goodfellas. Yeah, Goodfellas is the king of cocaine movies in my opinion. I think it has the best cocaine scene. May 14th, 1980. That scene is incredible. So yeah, that's like my 10 cocaine movies. You know who else does cocaine though in his movie? Another cocaine bear, you might say.
Another cocaine bear.
Ted.
Yeah. Ted seems like he
Ted.
you said before about snorting lines off of hookers' asses. Ted 1 and 2? I don't remember much 2.
Do you remember watching it as a as a kid
I saw Ted with my brother
in theaters.
theaters.
Uh, did you like
I
it?
saw Ted 2. Dude, I have a story about Ted 2.
Okay, but
Ted
did you like this
2
first one?
back then when I was dude,
Yeah.
I was 11.
Were you a fan of were you a fan of like Seth MacFarlane? Were you aware of his like comedy? Like were you aware that
So
like this was made by the guy from Family Guy?
so I was never allowed to watch Family Guy. Here's
Okay.
the weird thing.
I was never allowed to
wasn't-
watch Family Guy.
I
too.
wasn't allowed
to
to
this
watch
day,
Family Guy.
to this day, I haven't seen an episode of Family Guy.
That's a little crazy.
I know. I mean, I've seen
Watch Family
like
Guy.
I've seen like someone in the background watching it, and I've seen clips. It's inevitable. You have to see
I
some
was
clips if you've
allowed-
been on social media for longer than an hour.
Especially the past like 2 months. Like,
Yeah, Jesus
the
Christ.
memes that's
the
going on.
Family Guy memes are crazy now. We're capitalizing on the
We are.
opportunity.
We are.
Yeah.
Listen, I was allowed, for some reason, I was allowed to watch South Park, but I wasn't allowed to watch Family Guy because my parents knew Family Guy,
Whoa.
and they had no idea what South Park was. South Park is so much
But it
worse than
appears way
Family
more
Guy.
innocent. It's a way more innocent looking show. It looks like
Yeah.
it's for babies.
Suck my balls, Mr. Garrison.
So yeah, I never watched Ted. I was never allowed to watch it.
I saw it.
I was
my brother
curious,
was the
I
prime
guess.
age.
But by the time I
Oh,
saw
wait.
it, I was like, I think I was in middle school. I think I was in 8th grade,
Oh,
and I don't know. I thought like, hey, that was funny. Watching it again, I really didn't think much of it again.
it is like
And watching it a third time, I guess I enjoyed it because I was watching it with you. You know,
and you were ripping the Benjamin Franklin, so
spoiler alert: this is a drug cabinet for me.
I was
I do-
even before we started the film, easily like this
Yeah.
is again prime drug cabinet.
First
movie.
off, let's talk about like what made this like a sensation. Because to be honest with you, did you know this was one of the top 10 box office movies of 2012?
I did not.
Yeah, this was a sensation. I think I'll look up the box office.
I mean, dude, I remember like the end of this came out in early 2012. Either way, I remember people talking about this movie when it came out. People were like, "Yo, like this is this
Dude, the bear's
the
smoking
bear
the
smokes
bomb, dude.
weed, dude."
This is definitely in the frat bro film canon, like the 2010s frat bro film canon. You have Ted,
You owe me
you
lobster
have
money.
Project X.
The 21 Jump Street movies, Superbad, The Social Network.
What else we got? Yeah, it's pretty much all of them. I
Oh
think.
no.
Yeah.
Would you say Kick Ass falls into this?
That's a more nerdy.
It is
That's
more
not
nerdy.
frat
Yeah.
bro-y. But yeah, like Ted was just like
Frat
a
bro.
sensation. Like
This is the end.
Oh yeah, this is
This
any
is-
Seth
this is the
Rogen
end.
movie at the time. Honestly, yeah, at the
Yeah.
time, yeah.
Pineapple Express,
Yeah, Pineapple Express, big time frat bro movie.
The Hangovers.
Yeah, and as I'm saying, this is, and we just mentioned all these comedy movies. This movie was a product of its time. Like, I don't think this would get greenlit today, and if it did, it would be a TV show. It wouldn't be a movie.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be a straight.
Ted could be a really good TV show.
It should be a TV show. Watching this movie,
Yeah.
that is my biggest criticism with this movie.
Dude,
It's
You know what?
way too long, and it like after a while the jokes become numbing.
Mm.
I do not like Ted
That's a very
after.
strong
I do
opinion.
not like Ted after watching it for 2 hours. But like literally watching the 40-minute segment of it,
Dude,
that was great.
keeping on in the background and catching like Mark Wahlberg just dropped like dimes.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. I was
You know
laughing.
what? This
I had a good
movie
time.
is literally a 2-hour Family Guy movie.
Yeah.
I know
That's it.
some people are asking for a Family Guy movie, like how Simpsons had a movie and South Park got a movie. You have your Family Guy movie.
Yeah, it's this.
It's Ted.
You have
Um,
Meg, you have Peter Griffin, you
yeah,
have Jess Swanson.
Dude. Yeah, and that's the problem to me. And you know what? Just like Family Guy, this movie, if you're watching it, I'll be honest, put it in the background just next to something else. Maybe your Subway Surfer or your TikTok or whatever.
Subway Surfer.
Um,
That's the first thing you think of when you're on the side, Subway Surfer.
oh, have you ever seen those have you ever seen those videos and there's like Subway Surfer
Yeah, on the
back
bottom. On the-
That's
yeah,
what I was
TikToks.
referencing
Yeah.
to. I'm sorry, I got mixed up.
No, you're good. It makes sense. You explained it.
Yeah.
Good job. Dude,
fuck?
I don't feel as.
Is there
as
anything in
strongly-
particular did you like about this movie? Like,
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, yeah, that's a
Dude,
plus.
Mark Wahlberg, even like look, obviously Seth MacFarlane as Ted is fucking
Yeah.
hilarious. But Mark Wahlberg in these
Every
movies,
time his Boston accent breaks out, I can't help but chuckle a little bit. You know,
Dude, I just think it's fucking it's
I'm
just
not a big
genuine.
fan of him, to be honest with you. I love him as Dirk Diggler. I will forever cherish that performance. And like he's okay in this, you know, he's okay in this. But every time
I thought
that
it was
Boston
funny.
accent comes out, and let's
Ted,
talk about this movie is aggressively Boston,
yeah,
aggressively Boston to the
the
point.
fucking finale takes place in the
In Fenway
goddamn
Park.
Fenway Park.
Everyone talks with a Boston accent.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Bill Burr didn't make an appearance. He wasn't famous enough at this time.
The Departed.
You should do Boston movies.
Isn't Good Will Hunting?
Yeah, Boston. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of Boston movies. There's a Temple of Doom poster.
Yes.
In Mark
fuck yeah.
Wahlberg's.
We were here. We were just watching it.
Yeah.
You heard the theme when
Yeah.
Ted pulls his
Okay.
ear. It's
Seth
fucking
MacFarlane
theme.
is a George Lucas fanboy. Let's just
Oh,
say that
yeah.
The Star Wars parodies, the constant references.
the Family Guy Star Wars
to-
episodes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess did I say what did I say?
You said he was a big Star Wars guy, and I was like,
Oh yeah. Family
Star
Guy
Wars
episodes, the Indiana Jones things in here. There's also like Mark Wahlberg's ringtone is the Imperial March.
Imperial March, yeah.
But
But also, too, that scene was supposed to take place in 1985. Temple of Doom came out in 84.
yeah. So.
So it's like right out of Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah.
Because you would think like he would have like Raiders of the Lost Ark up because Raiders is a better movie.
But
But,
kids,
like-
kids draw to. They know what's up. Kids know that Temple of Doom is the best fucking movie. Okay, because of Short Round, who
Excuse
is
the
making a
fuck out of me?
fucking comeback.
Out of
Kiki
all
Kwan,
three,
as
out of
a
all-
kid. Speaking of Star Wars, I thought it was funny. They were lining up.
Phantom Menace.
They were lining up for Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg was dressed as Darth Maul.
Dude,
And you know what's funny with Darth Maul? Ted kind of has the same fate as him at the end of the movie.
yeah, you said it when we were watching it too. Oh, he got Darth Mauled. And just like Darth Maul, apparently they both fucking survive. Well, we know Ted survives,
That's true.
but Darth Maul survives in fucking Clone Wars. When they do cocaine with
Oh, with Flash
Flash.
Gordon? Yeah.
ah,
To me, like that was kind of like cool. You do your thing, Seth MacFarlane, but I do not care about
Yeah.
this cameo at all.
Yeah.
It was a cheesy movie from the 1980s. Heard it was good. Maybe I'll watch it eventually. But like I'm not really that interested in the quarterback from the Jets magically transporting to a magical world to fight. I don't know, this Fu Manchu looking guy.
this movie, I feel like it just knows its audience. It's like you're gonna watch this movie when you're stoned.
Yeah, this movie would not. Also, like this movie is like some of the jokes you would not hear today.
No, yeah, but back in
Um,
2012.
Ted would definitely get
Dude,
canceled.
Susan Boyle. He
What?
called in the in the car chase scene.
Is it like a dated
Ted
reference?
called him. Yes.
Okay.
Ted called the fat kid Susan Boyle. Susan Boyle was on Britain's Got Talent, and she had like this incredible voice.
Uh-huh.
It went like viral back in like 2010 or 2011 or somewhere around there. They made a Susan Boyle joke. I bet nobody would fucking remember who Susan Boyle was. No one would remember.
I don't. They made a Jack and Jill joke. Which
Yes.
honestly, like, listen, Ted, you're slightly funnier than Jack and Jill, but you have
Ted's better than Jack and Jill. Stop.
yeah, but you have you're not like a comedic masterpiece. You shouldn't be talking
Yeah.
shit about any other.
You're not like the Hangover.
No,
program.
you're not. You're not a super bad. I put you in the same frat bro canon, but let's not mistake that with quality, people.
Yeah.
Okay, some
I
of
agree.
those movies are a lot better than others. I'm just saying, super bad, best frat bro movie if you're asking me.
Yeah, dude. What about Booksmart? Apparently, Booksmart's like a female version of that.
Yeah, it is. But
it
there's
good?
also
Did you say it was
there's
good?
also a good. Is it Good Boys? It's like a middle school
Yeah.
version of, and that was awful. That was awful. So Booksmart was at least the middle road of like that was alright. It was good.
Are they making 23 Jump Street?
No, oh, but there was this weird Sony leak back in the day. Remember when Sony had that big leak?
Yeah.
And there was a leak that they were making a crossover with Men in Black.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
It's weird.
Whoa.
It's so weird. Yeah. You never heard about that?
Men in Black 3, though. Oh my god.
Mark Wahlberg's bad singing in Ted. It's not as good as the one in Boogie Nights. Superman Returns. That's another dated thing as
Yeah.
well. No one remembers that movie.
No.
Of
course I wouldn't.
Like, I don't know. That's what makes it like a drug cabinet and not like an actual top shelf, because it's not objectively a good
This
movie.
is like
It's definitely a product of its time.
if I was like with my friends and we were getting really, really high or drunk, I would say throw this on. We'll have a good laugh at it. Other than that, this is exactly what I feel like. It knows what it is. This movie knows what it is. It's just a comedy. It's just a
It should
typical
know a
stoner
little better
comedy.
what it is because it is 2 hours long.
It
It
is, yeah,
should
it
be
is really
90
long.
minutes long.
Dude,
And that
this
whole
is-
kidnapping subplot, you could just take out.
Oh, you wanna
It
talk
feels
about-
like it ends when Mark Wahlberg sings at that concert.
Yeah, it does.
You know? And I want to talk about his boss. That guy is a product of his time, too. He was very big back in the day. I don't remember his name, but he was in The Soup on Comedy Central. Also, Spy Kids 4.
Fuck that.
Back in Time, I think that's what it was called, or All the Time in the World.
Spy Kids 3 or nothing, baby. Spy
He's,
Kids 3 is pretty good too.
Oh, he's also in
Steve Buscemi.
Blended. I remember the Adam Sandler movie as well, but he gets typecasted as the douchebag. Ted 2. I saw it. Do you remember it? You say you have
I remember
a
two things.
story, right?
I have a couple things. I have like a handful of things I could say about Tattoo.
Okay,
Like I did not rewatch it for this review.
it's okay.
For this.
Oh my God. Okay, I looked at the box office for Ted. You want to guess how much it made? It made a lot of money.
200 million.
$791 million
Oh my!
for a comedy.
300 mil off of $1 billion for Ted.
$791 million.
300 mil off of $1 billion. Wow.
Yeah. I'm
Good for
telling you,
Ted.
this was a
for
box
Ted.
office sensation, man.
Good for Ted.
This and you know what? Product of its time because it would never make money today if it was released in theaters.
It would be straight to Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy that the movies business has changed in only 10 years.
I don't have too much to say about Ted 2, but I remember two scenes in particular, and I also remember the story behind it. We went to go see this movie for Tyler Fife's like birthday party, and his grandmother took like 7 of us in, and she claimed,
Wait, how old were you?
We were
Make that clear.
14.
You were 14? Okay, yeah.
came out in 2015. We saw this with I saw it with Tyler Fife and like a bunch of other of our like friends.
Yeah.
His grandmother pretended that we were all adopted because in order to get into TED, you had to be
Yeah.
accompanied with a legal guardian.
Yeah.
So she claimed that all of us were adopted, and we
What
played
theater was this? Was this the Lowe's?
AMC 14.
Okay.
AMC 14 Lowe's, and it was just really fucking funny. Like Tyler's grandmother just like pretending we're all adopted. She had to like memorize our names and shit. It was just it's just hilarious because like it was all for Ted 2. I will say the two scenes I remember are
Were you excited though?
fuck
Was
yeah.
Tyler was excited.
Tyler was so excited. I was excited too because I hadn't like
I'm pretty
I
sure. I'm
haven't-
pretty sure I watched the first Ted when Ted 2 came out. That's why I watched it. But I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't get the chance to see it.
I shouldn't say I hadn't. I wasn't like a massive eager Ted fan. Like I liked the first movie when I saw it.
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay. But what I remember from Ted 2 is I remember when they meet the woman. I forget her name. I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
They
I forget
meet
the
they meet the
actress's
lawyer.
name.
They meet
Yeah.
the lawyer, and she pulls out a bong, and they're just like, "Yup, perfect." That was really funny. And then I remember the whole fucking storyline with like Tom Brady's cum or something.
Oh yeah.
What was
I remember that was a Super Bowl ad. They put that for the Super Bowl, which was pretty.
it was
funny.
like it was like a sperm bank. They went to a sperm bank, and like the shelf fell, and all
a
the
few
sperm got on
cameos
them.
are in Ted 2 that I was not expecting. Jay Leno, he comes out of the bathroom because he was blowing someone.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Liam Neeson, he is a customer
Yeah,
at Ted's grocery store.
yes, and
Yes.
Ted just like Ted's like really
Yeah, it's all
awkward
coming
'cause
back
he
to you
knows-
now. This
yeah,
movie, yeah. Morgan Freeman,
Don't remember him.
he's like the lawyer that he rejects Ted for his human rights. Which, by the way, this is the whole plot for Ted 2 is that Ted is trying to fight for his human rights because he tried to adopt a child because he has no dick. Which, by the way, in the first Ted movie, he is fucking his girlfriend.
With a rat, dude. He says it. It's with like a turnip or something.
Oh, okay. Then you know what? The continuity fits. My bad.
The Ted continuity.
One of this movie, like I said, this movie has one L. No Mia Kunis,
That's
unfortunately.
that is a fat L.
Amanda Seyfried, that's the actress that you mentioned.
She's nice.
She's nice. She's from Mean Girls. She has a nice song in this movie. She sings like with a guitar. I think this is slightly better than the first one. Just because like this, I don't know. The jokes,
The cameos, the jokes.
the cameos hit more. And there's actually a pretty cool opening number, like dance number. It reminded me of the sign. I haven't seen Family Guy, but I have seen the intro like a dozen times because I have been on Cartoon Network and I've seen Adult Swim. But like there's a crazy like Bubbly Berkeley like dance number with Ted, and it's very like it's played straight. It's like a very explicit dance number during the opening credits, and it's like wow, it's kind of nice. Kind of goes hard for it doesn't have to go that hard for a comedy movie, but it does for some reason.
Especially it made fucking $700 million.
Yeah, they probably the
box
budget
office.
for this was probably way bigger than the first one.
That's
That's
why
probably
all the
all the
cameos.
cameos. Yeah. And you know what's weird about this movie? The movie's finale ends in New York Comic Con, which for me,
wow.
yeah, remember, which for me is like a crazy thing because I used to go to Comic Con all the time, and specifically New York Comic Con, and it was like kind of nostalgic looking at like the Java Center and like I didn't expect that's where the movie was going, but it was a cool chase scene. There's a funny joke where they announced the new Superman and it's Jonah Hill, and Mark Wahlberg's like "fuck." It's really funny,
Dude, all this, wow. Okay, I haven't seen that.
yeah, and they see Flash Gordon and in the booth there. That's how they bring him back. Yeah, it's like I said, slightly better than the first one. Still has dated jokes like Angry Birds. He said like Ted's like I'm gonna go somewhere and play Angry Birds. I was like, oh god, yeah, that was Ted. Ted 2. Give him both drug cabinets. Yeah.
He knows how far I came to find him.
The movie is Revenant. Alejandro Inarritu, Mexican director, pretty well known in the industry. It's based on a book. Have you read it?
Yep.
What do you think?
Ooh.
Oh, sorry. What do you think about the book?
The book is awesome. It goes a lot more in depth about the encounters that he has. It's a lot more in detail. And also too, I just gotta say, for the sake of the movie, as far as like showing the events and the timeline of events compared to the book is like
give me some background because I know it's based on a true story.
Okay.
So is it like what is it like? What's the gist of it?
The book is a retelling of the story of Hugh Glass.
Okay.
And we know that there was a hunter slash company man slash adventurer slash guy named Hugh Glass in the early 1800s, and he would go on these. Well, basically, he was all over the place. He has been like everywhere. He's done everything. He's a frontiersman. Better way to describe it, frontiersman.
But no one knows if that's his real name, right?
No, they know it's Hugh Glass.
Oh, okay.
They know it's Hugh Glass.
It sounds like a made up name. That's why I asked.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could be. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they just know that
Every name's made up if you think about it.
This guy just survived getting mauled by a bear. The movie is a revenge plot. It is a father avenging the death of his son. In the book,
no
son.
No son.
No son.
Wow, okay.
I don't believe there was a Fitzgerald.
Okay. So what what makes the book that
The
intriguing?
book, it's literally just him trying to survive.
Oh, okay.
And like
yeah.
it's him wanting to get back
Back to
not
civilization?
kill, not get back and kill his group of men that left him to die, but more like get back and say, hey, like I'm still alive. You abandoned me, and I'm still alive.
Yeah.
The movie adds in the son,
Like the fact that he got left behind is driving him to keep going.
exactly,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That and just to survive. But the movie, for Hollywood's sake, adds in the son and Fitzgerald and
But
the issue.
okay, that really makes me like think about the perspective of the movie now, because like that is kind of like a weird choice to just add in there, you know?
Because
isn't the survival aspect of it like dramatic enough? Don't you
So
think?
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
And
Who wrote the book, by the way? Is it like
Michael Punk.
is it like
Exactly.
first-hand occurrence, or did he know this guy, or
No,
No?
this is
It
written
was a long
after.
time? Okay.
Yeah. So it's based on real events. So we know that Hugh Glass was a guy that got mauled by a bear, and he basically had to survive in the wilderness, crawl through the wilderness with a broken back. I'm just gonna tell you right now,
yeah,
the book with the descriptions of like how he got healed
yeah,
is it's like it makes his position in the movie seem
Easy.
nothing.
Okay, we can compare them.
Dude.
Yeah.
Some of the it's been since freshman year of college since I read the book, but I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. Or I was thinking in the attic. I was thinking like a side room in my new house, and
Uh-huh.
I came across my box of books, and I pulled out the Revenant, and I was like, we're doing the podcast about it, and
Yeah.
I was like, should I bring it? But no, dude. There's like one chapter in the book where it talks about him. He meets like a medicine man.
Uh-huh.
This is sort of similar to who he meets in the movies. A little similar. It's based around him.
Yeah.
But there's basically like this medicine man, this Native American, who like it describes the wounds on his back and his neck in detail, and like when this medicine man finds Hugh Glass, his back is like rotted. It his and I keep in mind
Yeah.
in the book he is out there for weeks.
Do you think the cold weather had to like play a factor in why his body just didn't like completely just rot entirely? Like
Probably
he got
yeah,
lucky.
probably slowed it down.
There.
Well, jumping into the water
Yeah.
definitely didn't help, but
Yeah.
worked.
This story kind of reminds me of a crazy story in World War II. I think it's Finland soldier. Yeah.
I think I know like
What
generally
I'm
you're
talking about? Yeah, is a Finland soldier. Back in World War II, they used to pop like meth pills. Literally, I forget what the pills are called. Do you know?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like basically these drugs. They to keep the soldiers up. They used to prescribe the soldiers like these pills, and
Wasn't it like a morphine pill or something?
yeah, it's like morphine pills. And so he's in the mountains on skis. I think he's in Russia. I think on the Eastern Front, and the Russians are attacking him, and he's on skis, and he in a panic for some reason he eats like the entire
Oh.
tube of meth,
Ooh.
and he trips balls, and he wakes up and he's lost. He goes through it. He loses a limb. He burns down a house. There's a lot of crazy shit he does while he's high the whole time. By the way, too, while he's trying to survive. Ludicrous story. But it's probably,
Luda.
but yeah, it just kind of reminded me of that story. And honestly, if any filmmakers out there, I'll throw it out there. You can take that idea as inspiration. But
So before we talk about this movie,
uh-huh.
what is your experience with this movie? When did you first see it?
I first saw it when it first came out.
Okay.
Obviously the hype was mainly around DiCaprio because everyone was saying like this is it. Because
Yeah.
believe it or not, before Revenant, he did not win an Oscar.
He should've won- he should've won an Oscar for
got
The
nominated 5 times
The Aviator.
previously.
The Aviator. He should.
The Aviator, I don't know. Did he get? No, he probably got nominated for that. Definitely did get nominated for Wolf of Wall Street. I know that he should have
Yeah.
won for that.
Yeah.
Django, he should have definitely won for that. Just been so many incredible performances. And you know, just the way the Oscars work and the campaigning, it was just expected for him to win this year, and it did. And you know, that's why everyone saw it. That's why all eyes were on it. And when I was watching it, I was mainly focused on his performance, you know, because everyone was, and it's all right. It's not his best performance. It's a very quiet, reserved performance. It has a lot of hype too because he's literally doing stuff. Sometimes he's literally eating the raw meat. Sometimes he's
Eating
literally
raw
out in the
buffalo
cold.
heart.
Yeah, it looks like he's going through it, and he probably is. But like, I don't know, is that really good acting? I still think someone like Jordan Belfort or
I have an argument
or
here.
Candy is a lot more interesting character than Hugo Glass in this.
Okay, so I have an argument.
Well, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
I'm not done with my experience.
Your
I liked it. I liked the movie, but I never was driven back to it. I never really wanted to go back to it. And when I came back to it today, or not today, this week, it's not like a classic to me, but like I can't. It's just so incredible, like the camera work and the technical aspect of it, and just like. We'll get into it, but like they shot this in like natural light, and you just feel the coldness and the wilderness when you're watching this movie, and that to me that's when it really just strikes hard, and overall I think it still holds up as a pretty good movie. I think, you know, I was kind of scared it wouldn't be as good as I thought it was beforehand, but yeah,
It's in my top 3 of all time.
top 3.
Of all time.
So what would be your top
Personal
three?
favorites.
No order, just what would be your top three?
This, The Dark Knight, Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Personal,
Wow, we're talking about okay.
as like personal favorite movies. If I'm just, and that's not in
I
order.
thought it was gonna be The Shining because
The Shining's in my top 5.
okay.
But I'm talking about movies that like I've rewatched so much that I basically remember like everything from them. I need to give a little background to
Yeah,
the
when
first
did you
time I saw this.
first? Yeah, when did you
I
see that?
saw this movie opening weekend with my brother.
Oh,
And
another
we
thing.
saw
I didn't. I never saw this in theaters. I saw this when it came to DVD
I
or
saw this in
whatever.
theaters, and my God, this. So, I just turned 15. This came out winter of 2015. My brother and I went to go see this. We saw this on a night where like I had to wake up early next morning,
Okay, yeah.
and we saw this. I think the start time was like 12.
They don't do that in AMC's anymore.
I know.
You
I
know, it's
know.
crazy.
Going into it, all I knew was that it was just going to be a survival movie. And I knew it was with Leo DiCaprio. So I was like, okay, I like Leo DiCaprio. Even before I started watching movies.
Uh-huh.
I think this might have been the movie. I know I said this about The Shining, and I know I said this about like Saving Private Ryan and stuff. And I saw those movies before this movie. This movie is what got me into
Like cinema. Like,
loving movies and loving how they're made, and really like showing respect to the dedication it takes to build a world. The biggest thing about this movie is that, to me, almost similar to like a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, when you watch this movie, it it does what a movie is supposed to do, and it transports me every time I watch this, and I've rewatched it a ton.
uh-huh.
You feel like you are in the early 1800s fighting for your life against the wilderness, against Native Americans,
Where exactly
and
does this
against
take place? I
so
wasn't
this
it wasn't
okay.
clear to me.
So this takes place in the God. I don't want to say the state. I don't want to get it wrong. But
I'm
basically,
thinking like Wyoming, like
no, 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 no,
Colorado-ish.
no, 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 no.
No?
No,
Really?
it's further north. This is in the 1820s, so
So
it's
is it like
like
Canada?
no, it's the
Okay.
US. It's like upper US. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's like
North Dakota?
I don't think it's North Dakota, but it's basically like around
I can look it
the
up. I'll look it up.
center.
I'll look it up.
It's around the center of the country, and these guys, these fur trappers, are trying to like exploit and explore the land that was gained from the Louisiana Purchase. And this is all uncharted territory for guys from the US. But for the French and for obviously for Native Americans, this is like their homeland, not the French, but the Native Americans. And they know this area well. These trappers, they kind of don't. They're kind of like exploring it for
South
the first
Dakota.
time.
South Dakota.
So I
Yeah.
got the region.
Yeah.
It just the way the characters interact with the environment around them. There is no other film that I have seen yet that makes me feel so immersed in
That was really creepy sounding. It was
what
a bunch
the
of. It was a bunch of.
fuck was that?
Because we have headphones on, it sounded creepy. That was just a bunch of girls like screaming outside. That sounded creepy. I can't wait to hear that back.
I was like, what
That
the
sounded
fuck
really
was
creepy.
that?
But I saw the cars, so I knew what it was. But
There is no other movie that gets me this immersed into the setting, into the plot, into the characters as much as this movie. I'm gonna fanboy over it
yeah.
because it's one of my favorites, just like The Shining.
You want to start with the opening scene because I think it's
It is like
not the opening shot, but
Wait a
like the
minute.
opening scene. You know what
I-
I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah,
I
the
want to talk
raid.
about the opening shot.
Okay.
I'm so fucking happy that All Quiet on the Western Front is getting all the praise it deserves, because the opening to that movie with the fox,
Yeah.
with the nature, very similar
Oh,
to the opening of this.
I am. This is like Inaritu is very influential, especially when it comes to like cinematography. Like they love like
All Quiet, definitely. I don't want to say maybe like directly from the Revenant,
yeah.
but there are some
It has the same
shots.
feel. It has the same
There
feel
are
as
some
that.
scenes in the nature parts, the very few that are in All
Yeah.
Quiet, that feel very similar to the Revenant.
And I love the cinematography here because it's super unique. It's all wide. all wide lenses. No long lenses. That's why you have this weird
The
like
circle of trees when his son dies,
yeah
and it's just this shot. Well, okay, not when he dies. Oh no, no, when he dies,
yeah.
and like he
You see
like
Leo's
he gets
face.
stabbed. You see Leo's face,
His
and
face
then
is all
you
distorted
see
because of the lens.
you
It
see
looks
Leo's
so
face,
crazy. Yeah.
and then he's like Leo is like
Yeah.
Hugh. I just want to say Hugh because like
Yeah, just say Hugh.
dude,
Fine.
I will get into the performance later.
Yeah.
But like when the camera tilts up from his face and then it just goes to what he's seeing, which is like the
Uh-huh.
circle of trees swaying above him,
Yeah.
and it's silent. Like you just hear the wind rustling through the trees.
I love it,
There's
man.
not like a deep soundtrack at most of this movie. It's just silent, and yet it's terrifying because this is a life or death situation, and the fact that like you see like the cold blowing in, like you feel it,
You
and
feel, you
and you're
feel
like
everything, but I'm talking about like just like it's
a
it's a
spectacle.
great choice. It's a great choice to use these wide lenses because it just shows you the scope of the landscape, and it makes when you're going up to a face, it makes the face look like very like unamusing. You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of like alienated in a way.
I think it's
And
because it's
the best use of it is in the opening scene, like the way when Leo's running in the trees and the puddles.
it shoots the Native American out
Yeah.
of the tree, and like the Native American falls, and like you see like the horses running past.
It's
The
brutal.
opening action scene is one of my favorite scenes in movie history. It
Mhm.
is unbelievable. Like and like you can tell when it cuts like 1917 does, but as far
It's
as
not
like
trying. Is wait? It's not trying to. It's not trying to look like it's one shot like 1970.
No, it is.
It's clearly
that
no.
that open the
No, no,
action
it's
scene.
it's cutting from it's no. Watch it again. It's cutting from Will Poulter to Leo to his son. It's not one shot. It looks like one shot, but it's cutting. It's noticeably cutting positions.
Sometimes when you have big name actors in your movie, you can't really ever get like used to the fact that okay, that's just like any film that I'm gonna see Robert Downey Jr. in,
Yeah.
I know it's Robert Downey Jr. playing
Well,
that
Robert
role.
Downey Jr. in the past like 20 years has just been
Tony Stark.
literally just Tony Stark.
Except
you
for
know?
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder, Doolittle, if anyone remembers that flop,
Sherlock Holmes.
The Judge.
Oof.
Yeah.
But Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy are so good. They're such good actors that every time I see them, they just turn into that role. I don't see especially Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy looks
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
nothing. He looks nothing like Tom Hardy.
DiCaprio is kind of is just
You
like
know it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
but like Tom Hardy, like I said, is chameleon.
Almost unrecognizable.
And also Will Poulter.
Yep.
He's great. And Donald Gleason, Admiral Hux from Star
Admiral
Wars,
Hux.
and Ex Machina as well.
Yeah.
He's really good in this as well. He plays like kind of the level-headed guy. Kind of makes a stupid decision though. Like why?
The book, there's a little difference between that and the book. But anyway,
Okay, yeah.
dude, it's just
And the person
they're
that plays
all-
his son too is great.
I'm gonna get to that. I have a very important point to make with adding the son, and I'll explain it in a second.
Uh-huh.
But every single there is not a single bad, mediocre, or even good performance in this. I think everybody killed it. There is not a character in this movie that underdelivered. The main character of this movie is the wilderness, and that is, in my opinion, pretty evident by just the amount of shots where it's just the wilderness.
Uh-huh.
Hugh Glass isn't even in the frame. It's just wilderness. One of my favorite scenes is when he crawls. It's after he starts crawling, and it's actually when he starts trying to survive.
Yeah.
He goes to a cliff, and the camera turns, and you see his perspective, and it's just it's just vast landscape. It just drags you into the screen. Seeing this on a big screen, on a silver screen in a theater with surround sound all around you.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm already biased. I focus on 19th century US history. That is what I major in. Of course, I will like this type of shit. It is
Yeah.
right up my alley.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is
Like
that the
like
movie drags you into this world, and I feel like I'm right there. I feel like I'm eating buffalo heart. I feel cold while watching this. I feel like no matter what I do, there's always just something else that will try to kill you or try to kill me when I'm watching this movie. You will not walk out into the woods and feel the same after watching this movie. You'll be like, "Oh my God, am I like, do I have water? And is there going to be a predator that can attack me? Or are there fucking people,
Yeah.
crazy people that are going to kill me in the woods?"
I'm trying to think. Like I there are other movies that are like a man stuck in the wilderness. You know.
But none of them do what this movie does, I think. Where it's just like, even like all like
Yeah,
the little
I'm
side
not,
plots.
I'm not trying to like challenge you, bro. I'm trying to ask you
Yeah,
like, what makes this more unique? What makes this one unique compared to all the other ones?
the quality. It's like single-handedly just the dedication to making you feel immersed into the wild. And like, I know we're gonna say that a lot, but that is so like the behind the scenes documentary
Uh-huh.
that kind of explains like some of the important things about the film. They said that they wanted it to feel authentic. They wanted it to feel
They
like you were actually
natural
in,
lighting. They
yeah,
never used like professional lights.
professional studio lights. They
They,
just
like when
used
they're drinking that scene when they're drinking and it's New Year's and that's actual candlelight, similar to what how Kubrick did in Barry
and
Lyndon.
Barry Lyndon. I was about to
Yeah.
say that. Do you think this is bad CGI, Barry?
It's a little rocky when it's a serious movie and like I can everything is so pristinely well made that like one little thing that is not quite right and it's the CG bear, it's just like takes me out of it a little bit, you know? But I will say they did their fucking best to like make it like it still is you still feel the pain.
The
You still
camera shake,
feel yeah, the camera really does it justice.
even though it's a wide,
Yeah.
it's very close,
That's unfortunate it's
and
a
it
wide. Yeah.
feels, but even though it's a wide, you feel like you're being fucking mauled by a bear.
Like the one moment
The
where I was
the
like,
breath on the
"Ooh,
camera lens, like,
yeah!" The
come
breath on the
on.
camera lens, and when when the bear is on his face, and
Yeah.
again, that's probably a practical effect right there. That's not like the CG. So like, it's jarring because I think CG should only be used to like enhance the thing, and it's a necessity. You're not gonna use a real fucking bear to catch
No, yeah, you
Leonardo
can't.
DiCaprio. Imagine that though.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the past, probably in the past, they probably
Maybe in
did
the
that.
past, yeah.
I still think, regardless of the questionable CG, it's like a really fucking brutal
It is
attack.
visceral.
And then the aftermath of it, the makeup looks
Yes, dude,
gross.
seeing okay. So I want to compare this to the books. Look, in the movie, he's fucked up. He's fucked up. One of my favorites though, like, his back gets clawed up. Like, you see the
Yeah.
bear claw open his back,
Yeah,
and the bear goes away for a little bit, just a little bit. And then Hugh manages to get his gun and shoot the bear at point blank range with a musket. When the bear attacks him for the second time, you actually see when it rips open his throat. You actually see it rip open Hugh's throat,
oh
like
yeah,
right underneath his beard.
yeah.
And you actually see like the breath pop out from the rip in his throat.
Really? I
You
didn't notice
see it.
that. That
You
looks
you
gross.
see it like the gasp of air, but it's like mixed with like a little bit of blood in it.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
That's great. That's
it
great
is
effect.
unbelievable how they like.
Wait, you know what got me though? His voice aftermath. Of this?
Yes,
He's like, "Ugh." Everyone realizes like
everyone.
beforehand though, like this guy is
This
fucked.
guy's
So
done.
are we really gonna try to bring him back
Yeah.
home? Like, are we really gonna try to do
And
this?
Hawk and Bridger like they just want to do right, but they know that like
Yeah, you can't really.
everyone else realizes
And
this,
who he
this
is
this
too,
is
like the
survival.
reputation this guy has apparently.
Well, also too, yeah, because
Did the guy have a yeah
Hugh
yeah
Glass is not only their navigator, right? He's
yeah
not only their navigator, but he's their main hunter. So
right
like their main source of food, and also
right
too their navigator goes down.
yeah.
This guy is like invaluable to the trip, but Captain, I think is Captain Andrews or something like that.
I don't remember, but whose character is that again?
It's
Donald
Hux's,
Gleason, the
Hux,
red.
yeah,
Yeah
redhead. What's his name? Get his name. So I'm gonna be referring to him a
yeah
lot. He makes a decision for the rest of the for with the idea of keeping the group alive in mind. They're like, we gotta leave him behind, and it's unfortunate that he unfortunately let it open to Fitzgerald,
Stupid move to leave him alone with that guy, even though he was clearly like ready.
even though well he was with Bridger and Hawk, but
Yeah, but even though like, dude,
Bridger and Hawk are kids.
Bridger. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can clearly see that these two are kids. They're not like
Yeah.
this guy's gonna. There's gonna be a sabotage. What is a mutiny? I mean,
Well, the thing is though, is that Hugh is already dead. So it's just like you got to be thinking like, all right, is he really gonna betray this guy? He's already dead, basically.
honestly, it's kind of a coward move then. If he was expecting like, oh, if I'm not gonna abandon him. This guy might, you know.
Is okay. I can see that.
You know, but I don't see that. I feel like he was just being stupid. Captain Andrew Henry.
Henry. I knew his first name, but Bridger asks, "Hey, what about Hugh?" And
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
oh,
"I
yeah.
buried him." He says,
Oh, really?
He says he died. I buried him, and then I saw
Oh,
Ree
Hawk.
down by the creek.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Hawk.
No, yes, he asked about Hawk,
Uh-huh.
but he asks about Hugh because
Yeah.
was the point was to wait until Hugh died and then bury him. Was Hawk ran the other way,
Okay,
so
yeah.
then they'll eventually catch up, and then Bridger pieces it together at pretty fast where it's like, wait a minute, Hawk wouldn't do that. You did something to Hawk,
Yeah.
and I think Bridger asked him, he's like, were they Ree down by the creek, and then Tom Hardy's just like, no. He says it like very, very just like,
Yeah.
no.
Well, he knows that, like, what is he gonna do?
Yeah.
He knows this guy. Like,
This
first off,
kid, if he leaves him, is gonna be
a
dead.
smart person would have questioned him immediately, not like right away went with him.
He'll know when they're
exactly.
attacking
Definitely
him.
know. So yeah, he knows he knows the power dynamic is in his hands and takes advantage of that, and they basically get back to the what is it like a fort and lie.
Yeah.
Lie about it, and they get paid. He does have his suspicions, but keeps his mouth shut.
Same with Bridger, and it tears him up inside. But even before we get to that,
Meanwhile,
This is when-
he gets left behind.
this is when
Yeah.
and he decides to go on a little hike. And
A little hike.
it starts out where
Well, first off, his son died. He had a
his
little
son
moment
died,
there.
and it was actually honestly very, very sad. I felt so bad
Yeah.
because it was like okay. So his backstory there's no backstory in the books. The backstory that's sort of explained in the movies is very
It's very
bare bones.
ambiguous.
It's
It's
very
like
bare bones.
he may have
you know
relationship
that he
with-
joined a tribe.
Yeah.
You know they joined a tribe at some point, and that he had a son
like
with
some dances
with
with
some
wolf
woman,
ish. Like
with some woman in this tribe. The woman gets shot, and Hugh realizes he's like, my mission now is to take care of Hawk, my son.
Yeah.
And when that's taken away from him,
But I feel like
Hugh
it
is
doesn't
left
make
with
sense. He would be
nothing.
working like I don't know. Would he be working like here if that was his mission?
yeah,
Like to take over, like help the like
this was a time when this was the only opportunity for these men.
That's
So
true.
that's why-
I guess
that's why
I
you
guess
see
he
some
kind of
low
knew. I
life-
guess he kind of knew like
Men did this dangerous
I guess
task
he kind of knew
just
like,
because it paid.
yeah.
paid.
I guess he kind of knew this was a dying cause anyway. Like we're fucked anyway. Like this is
Yeah.
These people are here to stay.
But it's also stuff that he's good at. Hugh is good at being in the wilderness,
Yeah.
tracking, hunting, and
well,
surviving.
he's the man of the land. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounded really corny, but yeah, he is true. And I don't know. For some reason, I watched this movie and I kind of got flashbacks to Boy Scouts and camping and all that
I
shit.
could
It was
totally
like
see that.
really like weirdly nostalgic. Cause like I remember like just waking up in those camping trips and waking up like before the sun even came up, and just some of the shots here when the sun is coming up. It's just
Some of the
breathtaking.
early morning rising shot. There's one towards the so it's right after Hugh and the horse fall off the cliff.
Yes.
There's a shot where like he comes
See,
out of the horse.
great use of CG. See, that's a great use of CG. You wouldn't notice.
No, and it's also made into a one shot when he actually begins his survival.
Yeah.
Like the part where like he's actually like the moment where he leaves Hawk and he starts to go on his mission.
Uh-huh.
There is a sound track where it's like this echo.
Yeah. Like a drum.
like a drum. It's like a lone drum,
Uh-huh.
but it just echoes, and it's like it kind of builds up a little bit, like it just increases the tempo just a little bit
Yeah.
once Leo starts crawling. I don't know what it is, but like the way it reverbs, it feels like it's a drum in the fucking wilderness, and it just gets me fucking pumped
You
to
like
see this
okay.
guy start to go nuts on his mission to find Fitzgerald and kill him. It is such a small little detail, but I have seen this movie so many times that it just stands out, and it's fucking perfect. The first act of this movie is amazing, and I know a lot of people kind of say, well, the second act can get slow because it's just him going on survival. I think each act gets better and better and better.
At that
There,
point, you're fully in. At
yeah,
that point, you're fully
I'm
in. And
invested. I'm like, let's go kill this motherfucker Fitzgerald, but like at the same time, be careful because the you are just immersed into the wilderness, and even though like it doesn't have to be loud or like extremely over the top gory or scary,
yeah.
it just there's just naturally just like an unsettling feeling about being in the vast wilderness by yourself,
Uh-huh.
especially when crippled, when he gets into the river and he starts to
Yeah.
flow downstream.
When they're
And
attacking him, right?
when yeah,
Yeah.
when the I think it's the Arikara.
Yeah.
I think it's the Arikara Indians. I could be wrong. The
Or
Arikara
it's
could be
early on
French.
in his journey.
Yeah, he gets arrow shot at him, and he's there. It's funny when he's actually like down on that river. There's a small detail. You actually see him carving into a rock. You actually see him carving fit. It doesn't focus on him.
Really?
You actually see him carving the name Fitzgerald into the rock. It doesn't focus on the name
Uh-huh.
Fitzgerald, but if you look at it, you can see Fitz, like he's
Yeah.
writing out Fitzgerald because he can't speak, but he's just saying, he's like, I need to get to Fitzgerald. I need to
I'm
kill
surprised
Fitzgerald.
he's literate. I'm surprised he can write. Surprisingly.
He can read. He's a navigator. He reads maps.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Oh, he's really
This is
smart. Yeah, I forgot. He's really
this guy is like the most valuable
yeah.
man
That's why
on
you can
this
find Tom
expedition.
Hardy so easily because Tom Hardy's kind of a dumbass.
Tom Hardy's an idiot in this movie.
When he climbs up and he sees the buffalo.
Buffaloes, yeah.
And they're
Buffaloes, the
walking
buffalo.
around. It was like beautiful. I'm like,
Yeah.
and the score really
Yep.
rises up at that moment.
Yep.
I think it's really great.
You see like the wolves like finding one and attacking one and killing one.
Yeah,
It just gives you that sense of like
doggy dog world.
doggy dog world, but also too randomness. There is nothing given in the wild. It is literally just random that you come across a pack of hungry wolves and they maul you
Yeah.
to death, or you fall off a cliff and you break your neck. The wilderness is random, and that's what makes it scary because you don't know what could happen to you. But the way that the snow comes in and like the fire has like a glow around it, just
Yeah.
off in the distance where that dead buffalo landed,
Natural lighting. If you fuck up that take,
you gotta
you're
wait
done.
another day.
You have to wait another day.
They said that they sometimes some nights
Yeah.
they would only have like 90 minutes, or some days they would only have 90 minutes of shootable light.
Yeah.
Think about that. Imagine having that big of production and like 90 minutes. You have to get a 90-minute win time frame to make it count.
It's like in Babylon when they're trying to get that perfect sunshot.
Yeah.
You know, natural lighting.
Yeah, so it starts to bring up the storyline between the French traders or trappers and traders and the head of the Native American group in the area for I think the Arikara or the Ree. It's one of the background plots, but it does its job because it sets up it puts characters into position that they eventually come across glass later on.
Right.
So you have the head chief for the Native Americans. You have his name is Toussaint.
Okay.
He has a name.
Yeah.
It mentions it, but it's like if you
Very,
blink
yeah.
you'll miss it. So his name is Toussaint. I can't pronounce French, but
Toussaint.
that is the guy in like the red trapper coat.
Yeah.
He's like the main French guy, but it introduces the storyline where the Native Americans are that they feel cheated, which they are cheated out of the land, and it builds up like a three-sided conflict between the U.S. the U.S. fur traders, the French fur traders, and the Americans. In like, not only is the wilderness scary by itself, but the fact that it has turned into a battleground between these three factions in this region, it makes it even more scary. The book really focuses on this. The book focuses
Really?
on the factions a lot more. One thing I forgot to mention before was how the description of his wounds in the book are different from the ones in the movie. In the book, it explains that his flesh has been just been rotting away because of the cold, and it's like literally
Makeup
bone.
would be kind of hard with that. That would be hard to pull off with
It
makeup
also,
wise.
in the book, it actually explains that Hugh would scoop the maggots that were on his back.
Oh
Hugh
man,
would scoop the maggots out of his wounds in the back and eat
that would have
them
been a gross
and
scene.
eat them because he had no other food that he can get. Here's another major thing that the
Wow, Leo,
movie.
why didn't you do that? Why didn't you
Why
do
don't you eat
that?
maggots out of your back,
Yeah,
Leo?
come on, man.
There are maggots. There are maggots. It shows maggots in his
Yeah,
wound, but like the book, like he's like scooping maggots and eating them by the handful. It's
yeah.
disgusting. However, the movie version of Hugh, he puts a splint next to his leg
Oh yeah,
because his leg is completely busted. In the book,
yeah.
he never stands up.
He crawls his way all the way.
He actually crawls.
That would not be as cinematic.
No,
That would
no,
not.
it would not. But think about it
Think
though.
about There Will Be Blood, the opening scene. That's literally Hugo Glass. I don't think Leo would be up for that. Just you telling me I have to
No.
just lay down the whole
He
entire
said
movie?
in the behind the scenes in like that documentary I was telling you about. Leo says he's like, yeah, I developed sores on my arm and my knees because of how long I'd have to be just doing takes on the ground like that.
Ugh.
I was just like, I couldn't imagine it, man. There's just not anything wrong with this movie. I seriously don't think there's like a fatal flaw with this film. Everything that it tries to pull off, I think it pulls off great. The
Like
one
my
thing.
biggest criticism it to me it does drag and it like this I do think you can cut a good like 20 minutes out of it.
But will you feel as immersed if you did that?
I don't know. I would have to like actually see it to really tell. I could be, completely wrong. As far as technical goes, I really just can't say anything bad about it. It's super impressive. It's admittedly not my thing. Like I'm not like a history guy, and I'm not like a period piece, especially around this time. Like I really don't care for like this Western-ish shit. But like I do like westerns. I like spaghetti westerns. That's different though.
Yeah, it was definitely different experience.
But I can appreciate the craft.
When he actually sets his throat on fire to fuse his skin together.
That was right after. That was right before the Native Americans found him.
before
So
him.
like,
We're skipping around the second act.
bad timing for him though.
Dude, when he tries to drink water and you see the water rush out of the hole in his neck.
It
and
reminded me
it's
of
all-
like Beetlejuice.
It's all
Do
bloody.
you remember
Yeah,
the lawyer?
yep.
The lawyer has the smoke coming out of her throat. It's
It's
disgusting.
all the water is like all mucusy orange and bloody because his throat's infected.
Yeah.
Dude,
You're
it
bringing
is
it up.
just such a small detail. Like it's that tiny little details like that, like him catching the fish with his
But
bare
here's
hands
the
and
thing:
eating it.
it isn't a small detail. It really is what makes the movie the movie.
On the
you know?
screen. On the screen. Because it's not focus. It's a wide shot.
Yeah.
These are one of the. It's like Hereditary.
Yeah.
You can.
Well, the whole movie's the
rewatch-
wide shot.
I'm a big fan of like the dream sequences. One of them. So okay. So one of them is you see a mountain of bison skulls.
Yeah.
That is it. It's signifying humans draining the resources around them.
Yeah.
And obviously, like
That's what happened,
It's what happened. Like we killed off the fucking bison and buffalo. But there's another flashback scene where it's in a church. It's in a destroyed church, and you see the bell. You see the bell ringing, but you can't hear the bell ringing. It's all silent. The scene is completely silent. There's not a single sound in the whole scene,
Yeah.
and it's gorgeous. Like I just loved like that bell. He's in a destroyed church, but the bell is moving back and forth violently. It's like moving very fast, but there's no sound. It just focuses on Hugh just visualizing his son,
Yeah.
and I thought that was just fantastic.
Doesn't he hug him?
Yeah,
Yeah, he hugs
yeah.
him.
I thought that was just so fucking good.
Leo has very chapped lips in this movie.
Oh man,
Um,
he is a chapped asshole in this movie. I'll tell you that.
after eating that raw meat, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, just that whole scene where Hugh wakes up and then he's automatically has to get on the horse and run away because he's being chased,
Oh yeah.
and he falls off the cliff.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. But then when it goes down to the bottom and you see that it's
Oh my
becoming
God.
night,
Okay. Yes. I can't believe we forgot to talk about this yet.
that's what I'm talking about now.
The horse from Empire
Yes.
Strikes Back.
Yeah, basically, exactly,
Yeah.
actually.
Um,
Dude,
it's gross. It's grosser
when
than
it
the
rips,
tauntaun.
way grosser. When
It doesn't look like
when
a
he
tater tot.
slices open the horse and he pulls
Yeah.
out his guts hand by hand or by hand, you see
It's
the
like big chunks too.
when it slices the horse open, you see the release of the body heat and the steam.
Yeah.
You see it release.
No, what got me is when he rips the ribs, like spreads them
Yeah,
out. I
yeah.
think to get it like to make them fit in like properly. It's really fucking gross, but like it's memorable. It's how I want to wake up every night, every morning.
Yes, I want to crawl on my wife's skin.
Yeah.
But the sun's out, melting the snow, and it mixes with like the blood, and it's just like this pink, slimy, like a slushy blood texture that is like for some reason, it's like very, very in focus, and like Hugh rips open the horse's body because it's frozen shut,
Yeah.
and I don't know, just like seeing that was just like so just like it was just like insanely like visceral. And no other way
Yeah.
to put it is visceral. But anyway, so that's
Yeah,
the
we can
beginning
get to
that's
the
the beginning of the
third
third act.
Yeah.
He gets to the camp, the fort, and
He's pissed.
right
He's pissed.
right away,
He's looking for him.
Captain Henry, and everyone else besides Fitzgerald and Bridger, they know, oh, why is this guy alive? The scene where he's actually found, where like he's in the forest with a bunch of like bunch of torchlights
Yeah.
around him, so good. It's such a cool looking scene.
Tom Hardy's out of there though.
Oh yeah,
He
Tom,
dips
dude,
immediately.
Fitzgerald fucking dips, dude.
Oh. He told me Texas, Mexico. What did the guy say?
He told me that he wanted to he's going to Mexico.
Good plan, guy. He didn't make it far.
No, he didn't.
He didn't make it far. Donald Gleason, what's his name again? And Captain
Captain Henry.
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 He helps Hugo track him down.
Hugh, not Hugo.
Oh, Hugh.
Hugh
Keep
tried to
saying
track him
Hugo.
down.
I don't know. Shit.
And
Martin Scorsese
Captain
movie.
Andrew confronts him, and Captain Henry loses the gunfight, and Fitzgerald kills him.
Did you like that was off screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I did, because it made it a little bit ambiguous as to how the fight went down. But you
kind of knew.
But you
Tom
know when you
Hardy
heard the
was
shot, you were like, oh, there's no way this
Yeah.
guy's got Tom Hardy. There's no way.
Yeah. You kind of don't want to because you
And
want
so
Hugh to get him.
You get this like this little chase scene that's on foot, and the chase scene is not the important part. What is the important part is when Hugh finally catches up to Fitzgerald, and you have
He tries to bargain with him. He's like, "Hey, man, like, hey, I had to do what I had to do."
you probably
Try to bullshit him.
enter in probably my favorite fight scene in a movie,
Yeah.
and also the single. I'm not even gonna say visceral. I'm just gonna say brutal. The most brutal fight scene that I have seen in any movie ever, ever. They're fighting back and forth. That they're biting each other, and then all of a sudden, like Fitzgerald's hand is out, and Hugh swings the hatchet over his head, and you see Fitzgerald's fingers get shut. You literally see his fingers in the wide
Shout
shot.
out Cocaine Bear. There was also some fingers that got shot off.
Yes, there were. Good callback. You see Fitzgerald's fingers get chopped off,
Yeah.
and you see his reaction. He's like, oh, and he rolls back over, and there's just blood everywhere in the snow.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Fitzgerald bites Hugh's ear off, clean off. Fingers getting chopped off.
Yeah.
There's blood on the camera. Like some of the shots, like even though it's a wide shot, it kind of like it goes really close to the ground, close where they're fighting,
Uh-huh.
and it is like you actually feel like a lot of superhero fights are fights to the death. This is a fight to the death. These guys are literally giving every single ounce that they have, every ounce of strength they have to kill each other. After Fitzgerald like chops off or he gets his fingers chopped off,
Uh-huh.
a little bit later on, Hugh also makes the same mistake where he leaves his hand out, and Fitzgerald fucking stabs his hand to
Yeah,
the
through the
ground.
knife. Yeah.
Straight,
Shout out
straight
Black Ops 1.
That's fat. That is fucking fact.
Yeah, and X-Men
That
First Class.
that opening mission,
Yeah.
Op 40, fucking dope. That was a great call out.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't even think people would know that. I don't think you would know that, but you did.
Dude, it's the first mission.
And the American shows up, and Hugh hears Fitzgerald say, "You can kill me, but it's still not gonna bring your boy back."
I know.
And Hugh, the camera just tilts up, and it's from Fitzgerald's perspective, and you just see Hugh's face, and he just has this aha moment where he's like, "This man is fucking right. It's not, it is not gonna bring me any closer to replacing my son. So what's the next closest thing that he can do? He can at least use like frustrations and get their problems out on." And he floats Fitzgerald down the river, and Fitzgerald gets fucking scalped by the Americans, which is great. Such a good ending, because getting scalped is pretty god
Isn't
awful.
that what he did with other people too?
Yes, he scalped
Yeah,
them. He
so-
scalped them and got their fuck. He
Eye
scalped
for an eye.
the Americans.
Eye for an eye.
Exactly what he got.
Yeah.
He had it coming. And then we get to the actual ending of the movie, which some people didn't like, some people did like. I loved it. But it's basically Hugh hallucinating, and there's sound, so you know that it's not you know that it's not just like all made up. You actually
Yeah.
know that like it's Hugh lucid, but like he's like some of it's starting to go, because to be fair, like he's bleeding out. And he sees his wife. He sees his wife on the cliff, and then the cam it shoots back to Hugh. Then Hugh just turns his eyes, and looks directly into the camera. That's the very last shot.
And then it fades.
And
It doesn't even
fades.
cut.
It fades out, and you hear the wilderness in the back. You hear the wind and the blizzard in the background, and the movie ends. I want to ask your opinion on a couple things. What did you think of the ending? The very, very end. What did you think?
I mean, it's like I guess they went with like the more spiritual ending, I guess, but I didn't mind it. I thought, like, I really think it was cool that he gave them up to the Native Americans. I thought that was cool. They didn't kill them straight up.
Yep. Him directly staring into the camera, though, like that last shot. What what did you think of that?
It's just a striking visual, especially when it's wide and it looks kind of weird. But I don't know. I didn't really think much of. It's not like a really like thought-provoking final shot. It's just a very nice like period on this movie.
What was driving this man for what's basically a month? It's basically a month.
Yeah.
What's driving this man in the movie is solely the ambition to kill him for murdering his son. And then he finally, like, the man dies. Like the man is dead. They killed his son.
Yeah.
But the man is right. Fitzgerald's right.
Yeah.
Because it didn't bring him any more closure. You have that last shot. You have that last shot where he just looks into the camera, directly into the camera, and I get this feeling every time I see that. I get the feeling that he himself realizes, I'm never going to be fulfilled from this, but I have to move forward. I have to.
That last shot,
the very last shot where he's staring into the camera.
I think he found peace. I think he's just like
finds peace in the fact that he will never get closure. So he's not comfortable where he's at. He just understands, okay, I see my wife on the cliff.
I mean, I think he found closure.
I see my wife on the cliff, and my son is dead, and I killed his killer. But at the end of the day, I can't bring my wife or my son back. So I'm just going to have to look ahead and just look forward and realize, okay, what is my point? What is it that I have to do in this world? Because I don't have to,
what is it to him?
What is it? What's the point of it? I don't.
No, I'm asking you.
What do you mean?
What do you think is his point?
I think he's trying to say that he is finding.
He doesn't know.
Doesn't know what.
Doesn't know what his point in the world is now. Where does he go from now? Is that what?
That's what I think.
He doesn't know though. That's what you're saying.
I think the director, like Alejandro, is trying to make it so that even though Hugh like gets the kill,
Yeah.
he has no idea how he's gonna be able to move from this.
It's like in Finding Nemo when they escape the dentist office
Escape.
and they're like in the bags in the ocean. Like, now what?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
What would you give The Revenant
Oof.
2015/2016 because
This
it has
is-
like that weird
this is
Oscar release, limited release
10
thingy.
out of 10, and not only is it 10 out of 10,
Glass case.
it gets the glass case treatment.
Okay. I give it a top shelf. I can't give it a glass case. I just think it's too long for me.
What do you think
It's
out
not
of
my
10?
thing. Out of 10? 8. We talked about a lot of things. Cocaine, teddy bears,
Just for the
the
record,
MCU,
I
Yeah.
can talk about the Revenant a whole lot more.
Buffaloes, Black Ops. Yeah, thank you, Liam. Follow the 3 Shelf Podcast Instagram. I do some reels sometimes. Yeah, till next time. Because I don't know, I'm not doing schedules anymore. So until next time.